Hello everyone, how are you all doing? We are up to the 4th part in the Waking Titan / No Man's Sky ARG, and we have just unlocked our new website. I'm going to explain MYRIAD-70 in as much detail as I possibly can, so enjoy. Okay, so before I begin, there is probably going to be a second upload as there is way too much information which still hasn't been solved, and there's just not enough information for just one video currently. So I'm going to get straight into the website and show you what it is. So this is MYRIAD-70. You are greeted with the first couple of things such as untraceable communication and unlimited bandwidth. Now we know that they are trying to make these sites look as real as possible, and Jesus do they look real. But anyway, if we have a look at some of the stuff mentioned, we can see stuff like immortality drive. Now this personally stood out for me because it takes a biological sample to prevent data access, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if this is referenced anywhere in the lore, but I know that some places such as the abandoned buildings that you have to show like your user sort of identification, so I don't know if they take a such like a thumbprint or something like that. This maybe could be linking into that, but again, we already know the abandoned buildings link into it a lot, but I don't know if this is something that they personally link into. But here's the real mystery regarding this site. So people have emailed Myriad and they have got a response, and a couple of responses are just like, you know, like, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, a username called Orion got an email which asked for 3 of my favorite things. He basically replied with a response referencing the song Favorite Things and got a string of decimal data as a response. Decoding the decimal data into text gave this text here. So now, looking at the previous emails, there's a bunch of numbers on the bottom called reference numbers, and basically if we took these and the numbers shown from the username from Orion, basically we can sort of decode this into a table which is on the MYRIAD-70 website. So the table basically shows the letter A with a bunch of 3 numbers next to it, and a letter B with a bunch of 3 numbers, etc, etc. So on the screen you can obviously see that these reference numbers show the 2 letters and their numbers. Now we're only interested in the numbers, so the table basically, I basically looked at all these numbers and then sort of went like, okay, this number needs to be here, this number needs to be here, and came out with the word Blazono. So basically this is an anagram of the famous city of oh my god, it's an Italian city, but it's called Bolzano, which is the answer for the glyph number 5 shown on the site. It's an airship, so if you want to solve it, I'll put it on the text on the screen now, and in the description it's Bolzano. However, there is still a lot more to talk about and something even bigger still going on. The reason for a double upload is basically due to the sheer amount of content within the site. So if we go to Myriad status, now this is a very important site. You're probably not going to leave the Myriad/status site, and if you click here on the screen which says Mercury, it will take us to a page which reads subroutine Mercury is ready. It then labels that there is 3 processes and we have 12 hours to select each process. So this is basically 3 different stages. Again, you'll see why. Clicking on it showed a simple question which basically said dataset assembly points. Now a lot of people have been saying to click 16 because it references the tapes, but please do not do that. Vote for number 80. This is the symbol for Mercury on the periodic table, and Mercury translated into symbols basically says HG, aka Hello Games. We still have over 12 hours to figure it out, but personally I think the 80 is the best choice to go for. So there's obviously 3 different stages. So this is the first stage. If we get this correct, leaning in the correct direction, then it'll be 80, and then we'll have to do it again for the second one and the third one. These are between 12-hour different time slots. So I will try and keep you updated on that, but personally it's going to be way past my bedtime. I'm really sorry. So anyway, the Myriad status page is really interesting because it also shows an area called Localized Magnetic Generation Field and Service. Now if we notice, there are 2 different columns of which each have 2 values. Now at the time of making my current video, I have solved the first one along with a load of other people on the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, seriously go into there because you'll just like solve the answers instantly. So heading over there now, we can see an instance then 100 PB limit reached, which shows user ID Hevelius, Wit 1706 and Sue Song. Now Hevelius is an astronomer and Wit is basically referencing another astronomer who died in 1706, and Sue Song is also an astronomer. They are all related to the word star charts because they produced a lot of work into it. So you can also see on here that it shows for a password. You might be thinking like, oh well, how do I access this password because there's no input box, but I'm going to tell you how to do it right now. So basically on the screen now is a link which basically shows the different clients, and the client is 017A24. On this page it shows a password entry screen. So basically, going from the clues that we've got, if you put in star chart, it has a space in the middle, so please make sure to enter that. So it's star space chart. Upon inputting that, we're available to see the new PDF file. So I'm going to kind of try and decode this. So obviously, I don't personally know what is behind any of it, but it seems to be a support request from a user. They've requested a large data transfer, and the description offers insight into what Myriad really is. This customer wants to map galactic bodies. Yep, that is correct. Exactly how the Atlas maps the galactic bodies for us, through us, in space, and asks us for travelers to explore the space for them. This is what this company wants to do for Myriad. However, you might be thinking, well, who is the company and who would want to do this? Well, I personally think I have an answer. The PDF seems to be from someone with a very high knowledge of the company of Myriad. Now, Myriad is actually owned by the Atlas Foundation. I believe this PDF is an email sent to Myriad from the Atlas Foundation asking for their current assets to be relocated and moved to be able to continue assets and work on mapping the galactic bodies. To prove how I know that Myriad is owned by Atlas, at the bottom of each email it says Myriad, an Atlas Foundation company. Considering we now know that No Man's Sky and Waking Titan are 100% connected, this would tie into the lore crazy amounts. It would also open up an insight into what the hell the Atlas Foundation could be, because they are such a secretive company and all we know is Elizabeth Layton saying, "Help us." Now, all of these links will be in the description. At the time of this video, the other file download is at 72.33333333%, as increasing every half an hour. I don't know how much is going to increase by every half an hour. It seems to have slowed down, so it could be in the next hour or it could be in the next day. I will try and make a video, but definitely go check out everything that I've spoken about so far. So, what could it all mean though? Well, it's one weird company and we know that for sure. They launch satellites as extra cloud storage. It's an excellent idea and it's a lot of money. But where does all this tie into No Man's Sky? As said before, with the Atlas looking to explore the stars, this makes perfect sense, but this can't be the only hint towards No Man's Sky we have on the site. Now, there is one other theory made by I think it's Dyslexic Nerd on Reddit, and he basically says on the homepage of a Myriad site we can see remote radiation transmission. Its description says safely, quickly and transpose physical data to other registers users with a tap of a screen. Now, if you know any of the lore from monoliths, if you basically give them any correct answer, sometimes it might say the monolith opens up through a portal and shows me a new multi-tool, etc, etc. This is basically what he's saying. We know that the monoliths aren't magic, they are actually mechanical things made by an ancient civilization, and this makes perfect sense. Apart from that, that's kind of everything we've got. We have no other clues that are yet to be cracked. For example, our triangle is still missing and yet to be solved. Anyway, to finish it off, here is the radio ad for those that missed it.
If you believe the sky's the limit, you have it wrong. The government is the limit. We are Myriad. We specialize in open source microsatellite ventures, and we think the sky should belong to everyone. With over 37 safe launch stations around the world, we enable a constellation of possibilities, making the world a better place. It's time to launch a new era of regulations regarding microsatellites. Make your voice heard at MYRIAD-70.com.
And that's all from me for now. I'll try and keep you updated as much as I can. Get in a Discord and have a chat, please, because it helps me millions. And keep in touch with me on Twitter, because that's where I'm going to be a lot. So if you do need any more information, just come onto the Twitter of mine. It's on the screen now. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much, and peace.